button. Okay.
We're up.
Okay, we're up. Okay. Welcome, welcome. Aloha.
Aloha.
This is
Morning.
awesome. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for being here and watching. I have a special guest interview today, and she hails from my backyard. We are literally just, I think, a few short blocks away from each other here in Hawaii and in the city of Kapolei. We live on the west side of the island, so if anybody has ever been here before. Okay, and I want to welcome Jan Tetsutani, and you have a wonderful art business. And so I want
Thank
to
you.
read your bio before we get started into you telling us about what you do, all the juicy
Okay.
details. Okay,
All right.
so I'm going to be looking over here, sorry, on my other computer. So now
Don't
more
worry.
than ever, people are wanting a happy and peaceful home. Jan Tetsutani can help you achieve this with her Hawaii-inspired and abstract art to help you make your home a haven. She is part of Four Seasons Resorts curated Wayfinders artist program. She has been invited to exhibit her artwork in Nagoya, Japan. Timbers Resort, an ocean luxury resort, and residents commissioned her to do a mural at their new resort in Kauai. She is the 2020 spokesperson of the year for Created to Thrive Artist Mentoring Program. Wow. Born and raised in Hawaii, Jan currently resides in Kapolei and works out in her home studio. Welcome, Jan. I
Well,
like it.
thank
We
you.
have similar names.
Yes. Yes. Well, thank you so much for having me here with you.
Absolutely. This is so much fun. Like, I love talking to people, so this is good for me too. Yeah. Okay,
You.
so for the purpose of this interview is to actually find out from all you wonderful people like you what kind of impact you're creating in the world, and I want you to share with other people as well, like how you came about to where you are now, and all of those things we'll get into. So I would love for you to start sharing with us, like, what brought you up to this point. Like, you can start from when you were a kid, that kind of, we usually get like some ideas when we're little, but we sometimes we don't pay attention to it, like me. But so go as far back as you need and tell everyone about you and how you got to where you are.
Okay, great. Well, I've always loved art ever since I was a child. And it wasn't till maybe I graduated high school that I actually gave up on that dream of doing something creative. And I think it was my upbringing, the Asian culture. And maybe it's not just Asian, but, the whole starving artist mentality, right? And people saying, well, what are you going to do for a real job? And, what are you going to do for money? How
Why
are you
do
going to
we
make
talk
money?
like that?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So I think that fed into me believing that this was something that was impossible for me. And at that time, my friends at school were saying, "Well, if you don't go to a good art school, then you're never going to be successful." And my dad was a teacher, my mom was a secretary, so they didn't make a lot of money. And when
Uh-huh.
I asked them, "Hey, can I go to these art schools?" Or like, "We're so sorry, we can't afford it.
Yeah.
You go to community college." So that kind of again just fed into that, hey, this, I don't think this is something I can do and be successful at it. So I actually went in a completely different direction and started doing, I dropped out of college. I started doing management and administration. I got into full-time ministry working with youth, and I love that part about working with people. But the
Mm-hmm.
whole administration, accounting, bookkeeping, all those kind of things, oh, it was so stressful for me. And then
I
later,
bet.
years later, in about 2011, I want to say, actually, I was in a staff meeting, and I literally felt like God tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what are you going to do with that creative gift that I've given you? And it was just
Oh,
so random, so out of the blue. I was like, okay, someone's talking right now. Like, what? What does this mean? And it just, I was just amazed. Like, what was that about? And the
mhm.
next week, we're having another staff meeting. Someone is talking, and
Oh,
they're Les Ganoza, who's a vice president of Zoe International, which they rescue children out of sex trafficking. And he was, the one thing he said just resonated so much with me. He was saying, a dream comes in the form of a seed, but you have to nurture it. And so that just spoke to me. And so I'm like, God, what are you doing? Are you saying that this still a dream? And I felt like he told me, my child, the dream is not dead. It's just dormant. You need to nurture it. So at this time, I'm saying, well, how am I supposed to do that? Am I supposed to quit my job? I can't go back to school. What do I
right.
do? I kid you not, probably about a week later or so, a professional artist who attends our church starts offering these painting workshops. And he offers
Oh,
how to teach you how to do water oil painting, and acrylic paints. And my schedule at that time was so crazy, but my husband said, you need to do this. You need to take
wow.
those workshops. So I did. And one day after the workshop, the teacher, who is Delro Roscoe, amazing person and amazing artist as well. He at that time he was a professional illustrator, and now he's independent, where he is an artist selling his beautiful works. So at that time, after that class, he told me, do you recognize that you have a gift? And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
no. And he's like, you have a gift. If you ever want to do something with it, me and my wife, Sue, would love to help. We believe in you so much that we want to give you this scanner so you can start reproducing your artwork and making art prints. My reaction was just, I was speechless. I was in disbelief. I was like, is this really happening? He doesn't know this conversation that I was having with God the week
Right.
before that too. So I'm
Mhm.
like, oh my gosh, okay, well, this is how I can start nurturing this creative gift that I had. So I just did it for the enjoyment and love of it. Then my
Mhm.
dad had some health issues, and so I felt like, oh, I have this dream back, but then I also felt like I had to give it up again. And I have no regrets doing that, because my dad's health was really bad at that time. So for about a
Mm.
year, we were in and out of the hospital. He was in hospice care. So actually, I
Oh.
went part-time in order to care for him. And then he
Mm.
passed away in 12.
Oh,
And
wow.
after that, I was like, whoa, what am I going to do now? I'm working. And someone encouraged me and said, you should still keep doing your artwork. So I did it initially kind of as healing from losing my father.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until 2012 that we started a business by starting my Etsy shop. And I was very
Oh, wow, that's
reluctant about it,
cool.
because when you
Oh,
yeah, when you put your art
wait,
out there,
wait,
you
hold
feel
on a
a
second.
little
Repeat
naked,
that
right?
last
Like,
sentence.
get out there.
Your video was lagging. So just
Repeat the
repeat the
last. Oh,
last two sentences you said.
okay. So I reluctantly opened an Etsy shop, and that caused me a little naked, because now I'm out into the world. And so I
Mm-hmm.
put it out there, and started doing art shows and different things. And then it wasn't until I think 2016, yeah, 2016, where I actually felt like God was telling me to um, quit my job and to just wait on him. And so I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
what am I supposed to do now? So I did my art show in 2016, and it was at Hawaii Festival. This man with his two daughters comes to my booth, and he's like, I love your work. I want you to show your work at my resort. Um,
Wow.
and so I was like, oh, who's this person, right? And he gives me his card, and I look at it, and it says General Manager, Four Resort Oahu, and I'm like, what? So we meet,
Wow.
and he asked if I wanted to be a part of the art program they're starting. They just opened in May 2016, and so I was so humbled and honored for that opportunity, which allowed me to have art shows there, painting workshops, and just meet a lot of wonderful people while I was there. So that kind of started my journey. And after that, just these doors started opening up with the opportunity to go to Japan, show my work there, being commissioned to do that mural at Timbers Resort. And so it just seemed like, okay, this is a confirmation that I
Right.
am supposed to be doing this. So, and then, so yeah.
Isn't it interesting how when God taps you on the shoulder and says, "Hey, I have a gift that I gave you, please use it." And I've heard that so much before from other people as well, as including myself. So that is so awesome. It's like once you said yes to it, once you were open to the possibility, like all these doors were opening and things just started happening. That's incredible. Yeah. So
Yes.
so at this time, you're working in your studio at home, which you are just lucky to have a studio at home. And what are you doing with your art? Are you selling it at shows, or are you just selling it online at this time? What are you doing with your art?
Yes. So prior to COVID, I was selling my art at a gallery and at Four Seasons Resort. I also did have some wholesale accounts. One is in Japan. And when COVID hit, I felt like I needed to pivot because,
Hmm.
everything was shut down. So
Right.
I offer virtual painting workshops now, and I also sell online on my website. So yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And that's what is so the only beauty of what's happening now in the world is that we have this opportunity to share our art and our gifts with the world online like never before. A lot of artists feel like they can't go online, right? It's only like at craft fairs or craft shows or art galleries, but now you have this opportunity like so many. And so, one of the questions I want to ask you, which is really important to me, that you share is like, have you ever really thought about the impact that your art was going to make? And from that, what kind of impact do you want to make now that you've had your art business for a while and you are in different places?
Okay. So sorry, you're cutting in and out a little
I
bit. So I
know.
heard you say, what could you repeat that one more time, Janin?
Yeah, absolutely. I know the internet's just lagging. I don't know why, but I'm so sorry. Okay, so we I want you to share with people like prior to, you selling your art online and in galleries, did you ever have an idea of what kind of impact you wanted to make with your art? And then now that you've been doing it for a while and you're selling it in more places, what kind of impact do you want to make now? So just kind of the contrast so we can see like if you ever thought of it
Okay.
before. Because I have a lot of people who say that they don't want to make an impact, but I think me personally talking to so many people is that I know for a fact that they have something deep down inside that they want to share. And it's not always with the world. Sometimes it's just with their families, they want to make an impact, or just in the community where they live. But there are those who do want to make an impact in the world as well. So I just want you to share for those people who feel like they can't make any type of impact, like what you thought before and what do you think now about the impact you can make or you want to make.
All right. So initially, I really wasn't sure what impact I wanted to. I was pretty terrified, to be quite honest, when I put my art out there.
Mhm.
Um, and so I wasn't really sure of the impact that I wanted to make. I just kind of, well, I'm gonna let it release it and see what happens. And and so, but I would say now, years later, the impact that I would want to make is for not only to bring the spirit of aloha to other
Mm.
places in the world, or but also to make an impact in other artists to know, or not just artists, but for people to know that their dreams can become a reality as well, just as it has in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too, the other impact that I want to make through my art is I know that there's a lot of people who are stressed and discouraged, especially with so much changes that are going on now,
Oh
that I
yeah.
feel that art can help to change their focus onto something that is beautiful
Mm-hmm.
and peaceful, and it can change the
Mm-hmm.
atmosphere of their home and their family life.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, thank you for saying that, because we need more beauty now more than ever, right? And
Yeah.
does that tie into your why as well? Does your the impact you want to make and your why go together, or do you find that your why
Um,
is drives you differently?
I'm
And
sorry.
oh, so I'm just asking about your why you're doing what you're doing, because you talked a little bit about it, but like, do you think your why for what you're doing and the impact that you're making, do they go hand in hand, or do you think they kind of hold its own weight for different reasons? Uh-oh.
I think it does go hand in hand. I don't feel that there's like a totally clear picture of how it's going to completely form, but I do believe that well, I think my ultimate why would be to help people to see their dreams become a reality. And so I feel that there's different facets to it. Definitely how art can help someone to see their dream of maybe one day they'll come to Hawaii. So when they see
Oh yeah.
beautiful artwork, something that they
Hmm.
think is impossible, there's no way I could ever come to Hawaii, but they see it and it's like, yeah, maybe this is something I could possibly do one day. And then on the other aspect of just, I think, sharing my story with my art and just meeting people, hearing my story, I hope that it inspires them to see whatever dreams that they have. Don't give up on them. Keep pursuing them. Keep nurturing them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that message. Yeah. And we need to remember our dreams, because everyone is important and we all have dreams, right? Uh-oh, the internet is still lagging. You can hear me okay? Okay. Okay, good.
You're cutting in and out, but I think I can understand what you're saying.
Okay. The other thing is, like, I know you have a membership where you teach people painting. So can you just talk to us a little bit about that, about your membership?
Sure. So initially at first I was like, oh no, not going to do membership. But actually I felt like when I thought about my why, right? I thought, why not? This is exactly part of, I feel, what I meant to do. So I started this membership just recently. It's been about a month now. And I'm so excited because when I see people
Mhm.
that really, they're like, I don't know if I can do this, I'm so scared. I'm terrified and excited at the same time. But now it's been a month, and just hearing them say, this is my new passion, or hearing someone say, I was an
Wow.
armchair artist all my life, and my dream is coming true, that I am investing in doing this, something that so just hearing that is just affirming, and I'm just so humbled and honored for the opportunity that I can help other people.
Absolutely. It sounds very rewarding on your part, as well as your members in your group. That sounds really fun. Now, is it a oil painting, or what kind of medium do you use in your membership to that you teach?
I use acrylic paints, and it's just because for people that are just learning, it's very forgiving. It dries quickly, so I feel like that's a good starting point for people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree. That is so cool. Well, what a fun way to live life. You can wake up and create and, just do fun things and help other people too at the same time learn how to paint and create as well. I think that's super fulfilling. Yeah. And this is so wonderful
Yes.
for so many other people, creative people who are struggling to think, oh, I can't do that. But you just told me that it is possible for those people who you are teaching, that it is possible to learn and start things. And with your wonderful story, all these years, and God reminding you about the gift because He gives us all gifts and we have to use them for good, right? Yeah. So, and that's
Yes,
wonderful that your husband is
definitely.
supportive as well.
Oh yes, he's very supportive of me, and so I feel like we make a great team because he's really good with his hands. So he would help me with my displays and setting up my things, and yeah, he's just I feel like I couldn't do it without him.
Oh, that's wonderful. Is he part of your business or he just helps you when you need help?
He just helps me when I need
Oh,
help.
good. That's good. Oh my goodness. Well, it's interesting that there's so many creative gifts that I see so many people have, and I really want to thank you for sharing. Is there anything else that you think that our listener or our viewers would love to know or hear? Anything that you feel you can share with them besides what you've already shared? Like anything?
Um, let's see. Maybe I'll share one thing maybe from one of my students
Okay.
that took a painting workshop of mine. He's actually a veteran. Is that okay if I share that story?
He's
Maybe
a
it might
what?
encourage
It,
some people how
oh,
art can help to unlock. He he's a
Oh, a veteran. Okay.
U.S.
Yeah,
veteran.
the internet is still lagging and breaking up. Oh, veteran. Absolutely. Can you share it? Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. So I was painting live in the lobby at Four Seasons, and this guy came up to me, and he was like, "Well, I was gonna take your workshop, but I don't think you appreciate it if I'd be smoking every 15 minutes." And I was like, "Oh no, it's okay if you want to take a smoke, great, go right ahead. You can have like a new perspective on things and just come back to your painting." And
Oh.
so he was like, "Well, okay, I'm gonna take your painting." And so he took the workshop. He's a little bit, I guess, grouchy when he first was taking the workshop. He wasn't smiling, and I like to foster an environment where it's encouraging for everyone. So it was so cute because my other students started commenting on his painting, saying, "Oh wow, that's really nice what you painted," and then he started complimenting them on their paintings that they were doing. Started smiling, and afterwards he shared like he had some back problems or whatever, and then he finished his painting and he didn't have a phone, he didn't come with anyone, so I said, let me take a picture of the class and I'll email it to you so you can remember this time. And so he was very thankful for that, and I sent him the picture. And then so oh, and sorry, I'm just gonna back a little bit. So after class I felt like God was like, you should just pray for him. So I was like, so and so, I know this sounds really weird, but could I just say a quick prayer for you? You can tell me no if you don't want to. And he's like, well, all right. So I just said a little quick prayer for him. And then he, after his reaction was like, whoa, that was awesome. And so I was like, that was God. He just wants you to know how much. And he's like, oh, thanks. So then I sent him oh, and then I prayed for his back, and I prayed for with his smoking or whatever. And then so I picture from the class. And so his response to me when he signed his email was, your non-smoking friend so and so. And so I'm like, did he quit
Wow.
smoking? And so he said, I quit smoking. And he sent me an email later saying, I don't know if you realize how much your workshop changed my life. And I'm like, what do you? So I didn't know he was a U.S. veteran, but that's when he told me I'm a U.S. veteran. I suffer from PTSD. I've been shut
Wow.
in for many years. This is really hard for me to come on the trip, but it's something that I've wanted to do. And I've actually, he's like, since I got back home, I've been painting these abstract paintings. And he sent me these photos of these big, large abstract paintings. And he said, it's been so healing for me because I like all the things that I've been through, I'm able to express it on my canvas. And he said, I actually was so inspired. I I applied to go back to become like an artist coach. I'm like, what? Really? And so he's like, yeah, so if
Wow.
you ever want to practice or me to practice and I can do. And so I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I just feel like that's the power of art, that it can just
Mhm.
unlock certain things that we hide deep down inside that we can't
Yeah,
express in words.
absolutely. That is so powerful. Wow. And so do you keep in touch with him?
Yeah, every once in a while we send emails back and forth. How are you doing? How are you doing since, things have happened? And of course, he's stuck in the house right now, as many of us are. So,
Right, right. Wow. Well, congratulations. That is so amazing that you had that opportunity to help, a veteran. Yeah. Wow, that's like a crying moment, like
yes,
brings tears to your eyes. Yeah. And thank you
yes.
so much for
I'm
sharing
very,
that.
I'm very humbled how art. Oh, you're very welcome, Janin.
Yeah. Well, if there's anyone who's watching this who is interested in your work or your art and getting in touch with you and finding out more about you, how would you like them to get in touch with you? And what are your social media channels that you're on?
People can connect with me with on Instagram or Facebook at Jan Tetsutani Art, and that's spelled JanTetsutani Art. And I'd love to connect with you.
Okay, wonderful. I'll put all that information in the show notes as well. Wow. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing all that you have, and I hope that anybody who's watching, will be so inspired, to do
Oh,
something creative and even start a creative business so that they can have some sort of impact and make some sort of impact, even if it's in their own life as well. So thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, even if the internet's not, cooperating.
oh, thank you so much. I'm very honored to be here, and it's been a pleasure.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. You have a good day and aloha. Thank you for being here.
You too. Aloha. Take care, everyone.